Hey y'all, Crazy Keon here, and I know gas is going through the roof. Diesel fuel is even worse. But if you want to camp during these crazy gas price seasons that we are about to have, I'm going to tell you 3 ways to make it happen right here on Hanging with the Hazes. All right, so if you have a gas RV, okay, I'm specifically talking about gas class A's, B's, C's, and pickup trucks, okay, they take regular fuel. Download these 3 apps. Here's the first one, Royal Farm. Now, Royal Farm is up and down the East Coast, but a lot of the stations are big enough for you to pull your rig into, okay? Make sure you download their app. That way you can compare prices and get discounts by using their rewards, okay? The second app I want you to download is something called Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy not only gives you gas stations in your area, but it can also tell you what the price is because somebody has reported it prior to you getting there. That way you can plan your trip around how much gas is costing. Now, we're talking regular gas. We're not talking diesel. However, Gas Buddy can give you diesel prices, but I'm going to deal with that in a different segment. So, Gas Buddy, we talked about Royal Farm. The other app I want you to download is, you guessed it, Sam's Club, Costco, and BJ. I lumped all of them into one because those are your bulk food and accessory chains that are throughout the United States. Now, why did I mention BJ's, Costco, and Sam's Club? Because if you have their card and you go early in the morning or right before they close, you usually can get 36 feet of RV in there with no problem, and you're probably going to get the best price. This is not something that I'm going to tell you to use while you're along your trip. Unless you're smart, you might be able to. What I am saying is, pre-trip preparation, this is going to be the best thing for you to do. And if you want to fill up before coming in, one of these places can accommodate you. Typically, they do not have diesel fuel. So again, we're speaking only to the gas job units that are out there. All right, now on to your diesels. If you got a diesel, whether it's a pickup truck or whether it's a coach, I'm going to tell you right now, your options are limited as far as any of the places we just talked about. However, on the road, you have the advantage. 3 things you need to download. The first one, Open Roads. Best gas prices most of the time on the East Coast and Midwest. TA, Loves, a lot of those stations like that are accepting Open Roads. Now, with Open Roads, I want you to add Green Lane. You got it. Green Lane is going to fill in the gaps that Open Road doesn't have, such as Sheets and places like that have truck diesel islands and lanes. Yeah, you didn't know that. Thornburg, Virginia, for example, Sheets has truck lanes, truck parking, all that good stuff. So you can pull over real quick, go grab something to eat. You know my rule, don't stay there because trucks already have enough problems getting places. But fuel up, get something to eat, and then get the heck out of there and go to a campground. Third one, mud flap. Now, why is mud flap so good? Mud flap fills in the gaps that the other 2 don't have. So your smaller Davis truck stops and things like that are in weird places that you might want to go get some fuel, they're going to fill you in on where they are. One of my favorite places to fill up is in Woodbine, Georgia, right outside of Brunswick. Great prices. Fuel filters are always fresh on their pumps, and I've never had a problem out of there. Again, off the beaten path, that's the one you want to use. So, Open Roads for major interstates. At Green Lane gives you the in-betweens on the major interstates with places like Sheets where the prices can be a lot better. And then Mud Flap for when you're off on an adventure, off the beaten path, they're going to hook you up with the good stuff. Now let's dive into some trip planning, okay? So if gas prices are high, that doesn't mean that you can't camp. It simply means you cannot travel as far as you want to go. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to show you this here. This would be my trip to Florida. And I expect to spend, with gas prices being where they are, diesel being as high as they are, about $950 one way. Okay. So let's say, for instance, the original budget prior to the gas jumping was $650. What I'm going to do is, instead of going to Orlando, I'm going to shorten my trip to South Carolina. Same trip, same budget, different beach, even more fun, And I get to hang out a little bit longer because I'm not going as far. In other words, take what your original budget was. Figure out how far that original budget will be with the current gas price. Take a compass, draw a circle around, get you a radius. That's where you can go. Sometimes you just got to do that because the reality is there's no fun going all the way to Florida when your budget says you can only go to South Carolina. Because where's the money going to come from? Just like the government, it's got to come from somewhere. And truthfully, I would rather eat, enjoy myself, and sit on the beach and not hear these rascals behind me fussing and cussing and have some peace and quiet versus doing what I want to do. It just is what it is. So that's what you do. You shrink your trip down to what your budget amount says, and you're back in business. The difference in cost, might be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. But at the end of the day, your gas budget, your fuel budget is going to be intact. Lastly, this is probably the most important out of all of it, and there's a safety aspect to it as well. Get off the pedal. I'm seeing a lot of y'all out there running these rigs way faster than you need to, okay? I have been guilty. You are definitely guilty too. You want to save some fuel? Let me tell you how to do it. If you are on 95 and the speed limit is 70, get in the right lane, set your cruise control to 64, and the difference in time between you getting to your destination, depending on how far it is, might be 10 minutes. That 10 minutes will save you almost 5, 6, 7 gallons of fuel. Don't believe me? Well, let me tell you. It usually costs me about 10 gallons of fuel to get from where I am in Carroll County, Maryland, to Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg, Virginia. About 10 gallons of fuel. Maybe a little bit more. Let's say 12. And I'm usually running the speed limit. But this last trip, I came back running about 55 miles an hour, maybe 60 on a 65 mile an hour road. And that 10 to 12 gallons quickly turned to 7.5 to 9. What am I saying? Keep the RPMs down. Cruise, I had some great conversation, but I also saved money. In other words, what is Crazy Keon telling you to do? Slow down. And that'll put money back in your pocket. All right, y'all, so you heard it from me. I broke it down. This is how you save money in crazy gas time. So listen, if you got ideas on how to save fuel, if you got another discount card or a discount program out there, drop it in the comments. I'll make sure that I mention it again. And remember, listen, the party doesn't start when we get to the campground. The party starts when you fire up the bus. Now, for trailers, it's a little bit different, but even with you, the party starts when you fire up the truck, because that's when the conversation hits, the good music playlist hits, and sometimes you can hash out arguments that you didn't want to deal with when you get to the campground, right there in the cab of the truck, and leave it there. Hey, y'all, camping is therapeutic. It ain't supposed to be hard. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you want somebody else to save some money, share this video. All I'm trying to do is spread a little knowledge in this old noggin that I've been storing for 40 plus years in camping. This is Crazy Keon, and you have been hanging with the hazes.